All right, are people popping on again? Technical difficulties. All right, hey Megan, let's see. Perfect, I had to restart the meeting, so I hope people are figuring it out, and hopefully you can hear me this time. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome, okay. Okay, yeah, I had to restart the meeting, but hopefully people will pop back on. Okay, it's 10:01, so I'm gonna just go ahead and get this going because we have an exciting meeting today. We're gonna all, a few leaders are gonna share out some of their best practices, business tips, because we're all students of this. We're all always learning. This
I didn't check it.
Industry. If you guys could, if it's not your turn to share, could you guys mute out? So in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a mute button. So mute out so we don't have extra background noise. And then when it's your turn to share or not, just keep muted. So we have 4 or 5 people sharing their 3 best business tips as we've all just delved into growing our HempWorx business. So without further ado, we're going to get going. Chris is going to be our first share.
All right. So my first one, and this is probably without a question the most important, is you need to become an expert. So you need to become as much as you can an expert on everything that has to do with this company, right? So because whether you're dealing with a customer or whether you're trying to enroll another business partner and affiliate, like you want to leave no doubt that you are somebody that is an expert, so that you're not giving them any doubt about whether or not this is a product they want to use, whether or not this is a company they want to join. And we've said many times that there's no doubt things that we're still learning. Like there's something that comes up probably on the daily, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have that quest to become that expert. So you're learning absolutely everything there is to know about not only our specific products, but how CBD works within the body, what it can do, your entire system for how it works with your body. You're learning everything about the comp plan, right? If you're trying to sign somebody up who wants to be an affiliate, I guarantee you that's where 80% of the questions are going to come, because no matter how much we want to help people and we have great products, it comes down to it. This is not a nonprofit business. Like, you are joining because you want to make an income. So they're going to have to become an expert on the comp plan. Become an expert. We've talked about this so many times. Become an expert on network marketing. Like, you should be watching. I will tell you this every single time I'm going to do a video. You should be watching something every single day on how you can market yourself, how you can become a better direct sales, how you can just whatever that might be. And there are wonderful things within this company, weekly trainings where you can learn from some just incredible people that are just crushing this business. Something that you can probably take away every single time. Every time I watch a video from one of these people that are 250, 500K affiliates, whatever, like, I take something away every single time from them that I can use. You know, you think of it like, if we're all a cook in the kitchen, right? We all want to have this amazing dish that we can serve, but our recipes are all going to be different. So whatever you can take away and apply to yourself to make yourself better as a network marketer, absolutely is something you should do. So the first one, become the expert. My second one is take a risk, right? Whether you fail or not, like, some risks in life, especially with business, they won't work out, but the ones that do are absolutely going to be the ones that define you. And with HempWorx, I see a lot of people that are kind of just wading in the shallow end rather than kind of swimming out to the deep end because they're not sure if they can swim or not. So they haven't really taken that full risk. You know, I met with a buddy the other day for 10 hours. For 10 hours, we sat in a room and hatched out a business plan to open a restaurant. Okay. And this is several $100,000 type of investment, type of loan that we're talking about. That to me is a risk. Like, that's the type of thing that if it doesn't work out, it'll be it could be very hard to come back from. So then I come back to HempWorx, and I'm not trying to discount anyone's financial situation, but what is the difference between a builder pack and a director pack in terms of finances? What is the difference between a builder pack and an executive pack? And we know that we can get 2 director packs in 1 month. You become an executive, so that's $400. So the difference between builder and executive is $330 one time, right? And if you can maintain just off of the business volume, you only need that 90 every other month. So you only need that 90. So you're talking about one time maybe jumping to pay for that executive. But what is the reward for that risk? The reward is a jump from 30% on your level 1 to 50%. Okay? The reward is you've jumped from only being paid on one level if you're a builder to being paid on 4 levels right away. So if you really take that risk and you have a business that you can take off with and have people sign up and they're going to enroll people and you're getting paid on 4 levels, that is a massive amount of reward. But I see people that they hang back. They only want to stay at a builder. They only want to stay at this lower level and kind of see if it's going to take off. That's not how it should work. You should go all in. You should dive into the deep end and see if you can swim. Okay, so I'm just take a risk for a month. Go all in. That's kind of my other one, is go all in. What are you afraid of making a few live videos? What are you afraid of taking shots outside of Facebook, whether it be Instagram, whether it be YouTube? How hard is it to make? How long would it take you to sit down and make a 5-minute video that you really like? And I'm not talking about a live, where you sit in front of a camera, record, and I'm going to talk about these products and what it can do. How long would it take you to make one 5-minute video you really like? 30 minutes? How many times would you record? Now you upload that to YouTube. You can take clips from that and put it on Instagram. I guarantee you, after you've made a few videos, you're going to feel comfortable enough to sit in front of the camera and make a live video. So how much effort are you putting in? You know, how much time do you spend out of your day? So going all in, and how bad do you really want it? I know people, that's kind of my last one, the going all in and how bad do you really want it, is a lot of people say they want to be successful, but they just kind of want it. Like, and I know this because I used to point the finger at other people and say, why are they doing this? Why are they successful with that? Why can't I do this? And I never looked at myself. So people say they want to be successful, but they only kind of want it. They don't want success as much as they want to sleep for 10 hours a night. They don't want success as much as they want to watch, binge watch a TV show on Netflix. And I'm not saying you can't do those things, but if you look at how they tie in, I know people that pay over $100 a month for cable to watch TV, something that's bringing you absolutely nothing in your life, but that $100 that you can't commit to being a director with HempWorx, you can't commit from going to a builder to a director because you got to pay for 700 channels on TV. You got to have the sports package. You got to do whatever. You got to have 60 gigs of data on your cell phone. Like, these are things that are bringing you nothing but a bill, and people are paying outrageous amounts of money, but they're afraid to jump from a builder to a director. So at some point you have to sacrifice things that are bringing you nothing in your life if you want to be successful. And if you don't want it, if that's the question, if you get done with this training day and literally remember this and ask yourself the question of how bad do you want it? And if you don't, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Maybe it's not for you, but if it is for you and you do want it, like I want to be a stay-at-home, entrepreneur, and this is my business, and I want to make, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 a month, because there are people that are doing it. If you want that and you want to do it, you can do it. But you need to ask yourself how bad you want it, how bad you want it, what are you willing to sacrifice to get it? What kind of risks are you willing to take? How far are you ready to go to make it your dream, to make it a reality?
Perfect, Chris. Thanks so much. All right, Matt, you are up. Unmute. Yeah.
I'm there. I'm live. Hear me well? Check it in. Thanks, Elaine. Thank you for putting this together, and Chris and Megan and Lauren for participating. I think this is great. So anybody who doesn't know me, I'm about north of Pittsburgh. I've been with HempWorx for maybe 4 months now. Love the products. I would say maybe some advice that I have for anybody looking to really get serious with the affiliate opportunity, hit the ground running with it. I would say my number one is try to make things duplicatable for people, right? Like, create the impression that people that you're bringing in, people you work with. And I love what Chris was saying, like, anybody can do this. You don't have to have sales experience. You don't have to have direct marketing experience. You don't have to, you don't have to be this doctor with this, extensive background in health or the medical background. Anybody can do this. And I think, and one testament to the work that you guys have done in making that Activate Your Health group, really worked hard at kind of creating this structure, this blueprint for everybody to just tap into and utilize. Somebody starts using the CBD oil, give them a week or two, check in with them every day. And as soon as they're experiencing any type of results with it, just encourage them, get on Facebook, take a picture of the oil and share those results. I mean, you're not selling CBD oil. All you're doing is just sharing your testimonial with it. And I think because CBD is such a hot button issue in today's world, it's just becoming so popular, just sharing your insight, your feedback, your experiences with it is enough to gravitate more and more people to it. And then simply, you know, you make a post and those people are interested and they start using it and they experience any type of testimonial, just encourage them to share it. And I think it just creates this snowball effect where you can kind of really grow a foundation. So really the way I think about it is I'm not trying to sell CBD oil. I'm trying to provide a structure, a framework to encourage other people to sell CBD oil, right? And I think that's really the mentality to have, I think, with any really direct marketing opportunity, is creating that blueprint. And I think we're all working together to do that. We're making it super easy, like these calls in that group and just sharing, you know, everybody's experiences with it. But I think in the back of your mind, that has to kind of be the goal, is to make it as easy as possible for others to participate in the opportunity. And how do you do that, right? And like Chris was saying, there are people that are blowing up with this. You guys are examples as well, and just kind of learn from what other people are doing. Like, people have proven it; it's working. I would say, yeah, you can add your own personal flair to it, but stick to the blueprint. Like, stick to the script, and encourage the people that you bring in to do the same. Like, there's no reason to reinvent the wheel when it's working so well for everybody else. So I kind of like that as my number one. Keep things simple, and again, like what Chris was saying, anybody can do it. That's the ultimate thing. You know, it doesn't matter your background. If you're committed to the opportunity, you'll make it work. So maybe for my second piece of advice, and I'm guilty of this too, I rely too much on social media. You know, there are days where, like, I'll make a post and I don't get the response that I feel like maybe I should get, and I'll get discouraged, right? But we forget that we see people throughout every day. We're out and about. We see people. And I'm at a cafe now where there's a bulletin board hung on the wall with, you know, an Alzheimer's awareness group or an autism awareness group. Our peers that we see day in and day out. Like, I think, you know, social media is great, don't get me wrong, and it's connected all of us together. But I think sometimes people don't have that really big following that they're after. They can get too discouraged if they make a couple posts on Facebook and it doesn't draw the attention that they're looking for. Go out and talk to people. You know, treat this as a business. And in business, you know, it's like, hey, you know, sit down with your friend. Hey guys, I started this new venture. I'd like to maybe sit down with you for 20 minutes and share with you a little bit what it's about. And maybe if they don't even feel like an interest for it, you can always ask people, do you know anybody with chronic pain or anybody with any type of condition you feel that this would help? Like, please connect us. I'd be happy to sit down and talk with them. So like I said, don't rely too much on the social media. It's great, and I think everybody should utilize it. But at the same time, don't kind of forget the value of just that face-to-face interaction. You know, and if Facebook's not working for you one day or the next, I mean, get your butt out in the community and go talk to people. You know, introduce yourself to the barista at your cafe, hand out some business cards. You know, talk to people at the gym, whatever. And I think, because I think what happens sometimes is that people jump in and they're super excited, so they get gung-ho and they start blasting stuff on Facebook. And, you know, they might get this tepid response, and then they just kind of clam up with their tail between their legs because they think nobody's interested. I don't know. I think it's nice to have a mix of both. And I think that personal face-to-face communication is valuable. It's still effective. I think in today's world, people are kind of starved for that personal interaction. So it's a nice touch, I think, and effective, because you don't know who you'll meet at a local level to help you too. So, but in the third point, I would make it, again, is treat this as a business. So people kind of fail to recognize that this direct selling opportunity, this stuff, it's the future. I mean, it's now. So sometimes we can get discouraged if people make remarks like, "Oh, is that one of those MLM things?" This is a business. This is an opportunity for anybody. And if you're fully committed to it, like I said, the sky's the limit. So don't get discouraged. That's the number one thing too. I mean, there are days where you're like, you feel dejected, but if you stay committed to it, I don't know. Like I said, anybody can do it. Like Chris was like the opportunity, like if you were to start a business and you're looking at, a business loan and you're $200,000 in debt to start the loan, damn right you'd be committed to that business. There's a huge risk associated with it. Like if you don't make this work, you're up the creek. But think about this as the same thing too. Even though the monetary isn't as high, like this is still very much a viable business opportunity. And like any business, if you treat it like a business, the sky's the limit. Another thing I like to do is I like to send out little thank you cards to everybody who buys from me. I think this is a nice personal touch too. Huge hobby of mine are postcards. I love to collect postcards. So anywhere I go that's selling postcards, I always buy some. And anybody who buys, any new affiliate, I send out a postcard to just kind of thank them, and it makes them feel like you're part of a family. Like this is a growing group. So I don't know. It's a little personal touch that I like to add to it that I think is nice. But I don't know. So just kind of reiterate. Number one, I like making things duplicate things, keep it easy. Number two, don't rely too much on social media. Get out there in the community and talk with people. And then number three, treat it like a business, because that's what it is. So
perfect, Matt. Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing. Great tips. Love them. A reminder to people, if you're hopping on, please mute out. So there's some background noise. Okay, perfect. Our next sharer, so I think Cameron, I don't see your little mute button. Cameron, if you could mute. Oh, perfect. Lauren, you are up.
Okay, can you hear me now? Okay, awesome. What a bummer. I wanted to use my ear pods because then I can hear you clearer. I can't hear as well lately. If anyone chimes in, and whatever, it doesn't work with this. That was great advice from both of you. I actually love where this started, even though I missed part of what you said, Chris. I think it's an excellent point to make that, it's important to come in on an executive level or a director pack versus staying at builder. I've seen there's much more benefit to coming in at that level. It just doesn't make sense to stay, anywhere less than that. Matt, right on with talking about being able to duplicate it. And it's important if you can get your team to duplicate what you're doing, and it's simple, and why reinvent the wheel, and it works. With my tips, I'm going to go a little bit outside of the box. I'm not as focused as what you guys just said, just to kind of add to it. And one of those things is something that Elaine recently talked about, and it was setting goals. And basically, Elaine, you put a challenge out there to create a vision board or a vision book. And I do this every single day. And in fact, some of my best ideas are either when I'm in the shower or when I'm driving. And the whole time I'm showering, I'm saying, oh my gosh, don't forget that. Oh my gosh, don't forget that. Because I want to immediately write it down as soon as I get out, because those ideas are gold. And I keep a notebook next to my bed. I keep one in my purse. I keep them around the house, notepads. If I'm just walking by the counter, I write down ideas. And I think it's important. Sometimes those things are coming to us and they're really meant to help our life or help our business. So I think it's important to write those things down and create goals for ourselves. Like I said, keep notebooks around, and it's important to revisit those things. Just because you wrote it down doesn't mean like, okay, it's happening. Like, I'm good because I wrote it down. You have to revisit those things, whether it's at night when everything's calmed down, and look at each of these goals and say, how am I attempting to accomplish these goals? How am I going to get to this level in this business, specifically HempWorx? How am I going to get to 25K affiliate? How am I going to get to 100K affiliate? You set big goals for yourself, and you need to revisit and attempt to work towards those goals. One of those things might mean, like Chris had mentioned, getting up early. I mean, we're all tired. I love sleep, but like, you got to get up early, and sometimes you got to go to bed late in order to, make these goals happen. There just aren't enough hours in the day. So I think that's a big part of it. Another thing that I was going to go into is that, let's see where I have it written down. Don't operate out of fear and what ifs and in a place of negativity right off the get-go. Even we all get in the habit of letting negative thoughts get into our head. Like Matt had mentioned, you make a post on social media and you think, oh my gosh, nobody has liked it or nobody's reached out to me today. People are listening. You are influencing people. Do not let that get into your head. The power of positivity is real, and you just have to keep a positive outlook and keep plugging into that mentality. Another thing having to do with that is I find myself, I'm a harsh critic of myself, and I find myself saying, okay, well, I need X, Y, and Z to happen in order to be able to do that. Or like, let's say a live video, for example. Well, I need to shower. I need to pick out an outfit. I need to, do all these things. And sometimes there just isn't enough time for that. I'll give you a perfect example. Before we got on here, I'm wearing my husband's t-shirt right now. I did not have time to get ready for this video, and I wasn't going to let that hold me back. I had the cable guy, the internet guy, I had all of them here in the house, and I had no idea that they were here. And here I am rushing around trying to keep my kids in order and hop on this chat with you guys. And these men are in my house, didn't know they were here. Like I said, my husband didn't give me a heads up. So somebody's yelling in my bedroom. I run into my husband's closet, grab one of his shirts, put it on, and like, here I am. It just can't always be the perfect scenario to hop on a live or to get on and help people. You just have to fly by the seat of your pants sometimes to make it happen. It's just not always going to be the perfect storm of scenarios. So just get on the live, just create the YouTube video. It doesn't matter what your hair looks like. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. People will hear your message. Trust me, I am not judging people by how they look when I am inspired by something that they're telling me. So think about that. I think that that's important. Don't let that hold you back. That's a huge obstacle. One of the last things that I wanted to mention is not giving up. Again, it goes back to the power of positivity. Don't give up just when you're about to get the results. You're plugging along, you're plugging into social media, you've tapped into your warm market, your friends and family. But just like if you had a business, your friends and family aren't going to keep your business afloat. You have to think, again, outside the box. You have to get creative and tap into the cold market. If you don't know what cold market means, Google it, check into it. It's people that you don't know. You have to get creative. So you want to tap in, like I said, you want to tap into the cold market, and you want to stay consistent. Don't give up. Like I said, where I was going with this, don't give up just when you're about to see results with this business. It's like when you're working out in the gym and you get on the scale and you're like, good God, I gained 2 pounds. I look thick today. Like, what is going on? Well, little did you know you gained 2 pounds of muscle. And if you would have just done a few more workouts after that, like you would have shredded down a little bit, and you would have had an incredible physique if you would have just kept plugging along. I apply it to this business. You have no idea what's waiting around the corner and what results you're about to see. So you just got to keep plugging in. You got to stay positive, stay consistent, get creative, set goals, revisit those goals, and just keep plugging along.
Perfect. Thanks, Lauren. Great advice. Love it. Okay. Do we have Courtney on? Courtney, are you there? I'm not sure. I don't see your name. If not, I'll just go ahead and start. Courtney. Okay. I'll go ahead. Okay. So, I mean, such great advice already been given, and mine goes along with what has been said. So we are trained in society to get a job, right? To sit there in school, to raise our hand, really left brain thinking. And so here's network marketing, here's entrepreneurship. It's so different. You have to retrain your brain. to start to be creative, that right brain, that creativity, because we're branching into a realm that we're not trained to be in. We're not trained to be our own bosses. We're not trained in taxes and earning money for ourselves and being our own boss. So you are the CEO of your business. It is you. Yes, we have a team, but it is up to you. So how does the CEO show up every day? You know, they have choices. We could, you know, wake up late, scroll the internet, scroll Facebook, but you are the CEO. What does the CEO do? They are organized. They check in with people. They respond to emails on time. They treat it like a business. So you better believe that I have a planner, that I set appointments, that I check things off. I get, you know, I'm a mom too, so I get all that done. I have to be organized, or else my life goes to pieces, my business goes to pieces. So stay organized. Another way I stay organized is I have a little notebook. So I have, it's a section of 3. This notebook has 3 sections. I have all my affiliates listed. I have what rank they are. I have a check mark when I have checked in with them. I have a list in my next section of my product users. I check in with product users. If you're not checking in with your people, they're going to feel stranded. They're going to feel alone. They'll feel like you don't care. And I'm not saying you need to baby them, because please don't do that either. But a check-in now and then is great. It shows you care. And I also have a section for prospects, people who have reached out, who have asked questions, who for whatever reason, it's not the right time for them to join. So don't take things personal. Like, don't be attached to someone enrolling. You offer information, you are acting professionally, you get back to people within a certain amount of, you know, a certain amount of time, and it's up to them to look at the information, to be ready. Don't be attached to the outcome. If I hear it all the time from affiliates that I'm checking in with, they say, so many people have reached out and want information and no one has enrolled. So I'm telling the same thing. Don't be attached to the outcome. It's all about timing for them. The more consistent you are with your Facebook posts, with talking to people, the more they'll see it. And when they are ready, they will reach out. They want to see consistency. They want to know that you're being a CEO in your business, that you're not wishy-washy. And one week you post 500 things about HempWorx, and 1 week you don't post anything. So consistency is key. Okay. So the next thing is kind of rating yourself on a scale of 0 to 10. 10 being, I feel so good. So here's 4 things that I want you to rate yourself on. And based on these ratings, that's what you need to work on. So HempWorx products. We want to start learning about the HempWorx products. And like Chris said, you want to start to become an expert. You don't have to be a major expert, but you want to know the basics. You want to have an arsenal of information that you can, you know, write on demand and answer people's questions. So on a scale of 0 to 10, how good do you feel about the HempWorx knowing about the HempWorx products? If you're a 4, that's where you want to start. You want to start to learn. You want to start to go on the website, plug into our product group, start to research about what makes the 500 different than the 750, what's in our face creams, what's in the dog product. Like, you don't need to know everything, but you want to be a solid 9 or a 10 so that you can answer people's questions. Okay, on a scale of 0 to 10, how much do you know about CBD oil in general? Just like Chris was saying, start to learn about some of the health ailments that it will help with. Start to just feel a little better about being able to talk about the benefits of CBD. On a scale from 0 to 10, how confident and good do you feel about yourself? People don't join for the products. I mean, they might. They join for you. They join for you. So how good and confident do you feel in yourself? If you have stories in your head saying, no one's going to join me, I don't know enough, I could never do this, they're really good at this, but it's not for me, then that's where you need to start. Start plugging into podcasts and self-development books. And I mean, for me, that's where I was 5 short years ago. I was not at the place where I am now. And I invested in personal coaching, and that changed my life. That changed my life. I was able to release the stories that were keeping me stuck. I was able to release the shame, the guilt, the low vibrational energies that were just dragging me down. And so now I'm a 10. I feel so good about myself. Someone could tell me my children are ugly and I suck at life, and I wouldn't care. Like, block and delete and move on. So if you aren't feeling good about yourself, start there. And I think that is the number one thing, is feeling good about yourself and developing yourself. Okay, let's see, we have like 8 minutes. Invest in yourself, whether it's a coaching program, whether it's a book, start to plug into yourself. Notice when a negative story is coming into your head. Notice that and say, there's no space for that, and shut it out. And on a scale of 0 from 0 to 10, how solid is your belief in network marketing? Network marketing. Like, if you don't know much about this industry, if it's very new to you, there's some books that you should definitely check out. There's GoPro by Eric Worre, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. There's amazing books about the network marketing profession. I'm a huge believer in it. It's an equal playing field for everyone. We all have this opportunity. And I mean, the industry is bigger than the organic industry, bigger than the NFL. It's a huge, huge industry. But if someone comes to you and says, oh, is this one of those pyramid things? Is this MLM? And if you're sitting there saying like, oh gosh, yeah, it is. If you're not like, oh my goodness, you got to get into this. Like, people are making some serious dough and changing the quality of their health. You need to learn about the industry of network marketing. If your vision, if your knowledge is not a solid 9 or a 10. So those were my 2 biggies. And I know a lot of things were intertwined into that. We have about 8 minutes left. Is Courtney on? Courtney's not on. Okay, then we can do her share next time. But I guess the last thing is, don't quit. The biggest thing is self-sabotage, people quitting before, just like Lauren said, before they really get into things. It doesn't take a huge amount of people you enroll. A couple people who start to produce can really change the quality of your organization, can really blow things up. But don't be attached to those people. But it doesn't take much. It could take one person on your right leg, one person on your left leg for things to majorly happen and momentum to start in your business. So don't give up. You're always planting seeds. You're always educating people. People will reach out when they know, like, and trust you. And the biggest way you can do that is through a video. I've never joined anyone who I haven't seen them on a video. I wanted to see their face. I wanted to hear their voice. I didn't care what their hair looked like or what clothes they were wearing. I just wanted to know that who I was joining was committed and would help me and would answer my questions when I needed them. So it's different. Network marketing is totally different. I know it's a new industry, like new for many people, but hang in there. There's a lot to learn. So plug in and commit to chunks of time where you have to plug in, to learn about the products, CBD oil, yourself, and network marketing. And if you do those things and keep going consistently, it's going to flow and it's going to happen. So any last minute remarks, Lauren, Chris, or Matt?
So I think, can we hear me? So I think there were some amazing tips that were given. A few things that really I'd like to touch on just because they were really good. Lauren and Matt kind of comboed on this, talking about the cold market and then kind of not having a huge social media following isn't the end all be all. One of the biggest things I think that people aren't looking at, and I talk all day because I'm really good with social media, so Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, whatever, and I think a lot of people should dive into those other areas outside of Facebook. But there's an amazing opportunity with this company if you become a real good expert on the products and you have you want to make business cards or Blitz cards. I think I don't know if we've posted about the Blitz cards yet in our group, but if you go into the community and go to businesses, whether they're chiropractic businesses, massage places, like, these people want these products. and they will carry these products. And if you can sell them on the products, not only they're not placing little orders, they're going to place massive wholesale orders to the point where there are people in this company, that's all they do. And if you're getting people to place wholesale orders from you, businesses, that is going to be a ton of binary volume that starts to accumulate for you to the point where you don't need social media. You don't need it at all. If you have that ability to go out and communicate with these businesses and they'll pick up the products, there is a ton of volume for you to sell to them where you won't need any of this at all. Gosh, Elaine, I was going to touch on something you said. I should have led with that because it was the first thing in my mind, and I didn't, and now I'm blanking on it. So dang it.
Being your own CEO, or scale of 1 to 10 network.
What was the last one?
Belief in network marketing. No.
I'm totally at a loss. I'm upset.
Was it social media coaching or personal development coaching?
Oh, no, I love that. I mean, I think we all kind of hit on that. You should definitely be investing in yourself on a daily. But gosh, it was good too, and I'm upset now. I should have wrote it down. I should have just led with it because it was the first thing in my mind, and I didn't. But oh well.
All good. You'll remember. Posted. Oh, go for it, Matt.
In regards to social media, I mean, and I'm sure you guys are seeing it too. I think the success is definitely coming from people that are making themselves transparent, getting over that phobia of putting themselves out there. And I think a lot of people kind of struggle with personally, like, to admit that you're using something that's been helping. First, you kind of have to admit that maybe you had a health condition. That I think it takes a lot of courage to kind of put yourself out there a little bit. And I think with social media, what people fall in the trap is just kind of posting a graph, like, oh, why CBD helps, and posting this meme or that meme. But I think, you have to kind of put your face out there, like you guys are saying. Like, I want to see, people want to see you talking. They want to hear the stories that you're about. They don't want to hear third-party testimonials and, like, somebody you don't know had this result with you. Like, and I think that's a big hurdle for a lot of people to kind of, like, challenge yourself to step out, like, get over that fear of putting yourself out there on social media. And that's a huge step. And I think that's how you, like, really resonate with people on a social media level. Like what Chris was saying too, though, at the community, one thing I started doing, I think it's great because every community has these. In every cafe, there's a bulletin board with different flyers for, like, drug awareness groups, autism awareness groups, Alzheimer's, dementia awareness groups. In the past week, I have a handful of appointments just from calling the number on the flyer. Like, there's a leader that puts those flyers up. Hey, I'm Matt. I work in the health field. I'd love to invite you to sit down over a cup of coffee and just share with you a little bit about the CBD oil I work with. I think it would really help. And I think that's a great way to get yourself out there and kind of connect with some powerful people that can really help. So, I don't know. That's up here where you are. There's a cafe somewhere in your neighborhood that has a bulletin board on it. So, check that out. But,
yeah, that's great. No, it takes getting creative. I love that.
I remember what it was now. So Elena kind of touched on, if you find the right person, everything kind of take off. And that's one of the things why you absolutely shouldn't quit, because you never know when that person will come along. But it brings up to the idea of, what are you actually talking to people about and posting? I think it kind of falls in, I think they call it like the rule of thirds. Like, you shouldn't just make your posts or what you're reaching out to people about one thing. So if you're just making posts about what CBD can do, or you're sharing testimonials, like, you might only be attracting potential customers then. So the rule of thirds is you're posting about, different things. You're posting about, okay, the products, you're posting about what CBD can do, you're posting testimonials, but you're also sharing the opportunity so that you're reaching out to absolutely everybody, whether they're interested in being a customer or they're interested in joining the business. You are covering your bases for all of that, because you never know when the right person might come along. There was I think after the first month, I reached out to most of my affiliates, and a lot of them, I asked, what are you talking about? And a lot of them, it came back to they weren't really talking about the opportunity. So they're kind of just accumulating some customers. So the opportunity is sound. I mean, we all joined, so why wouldn't we talk about it? If we're invested in it and we support it, then that's something that you definitely want to be reaching out to people about, because the right person can change everything for you.
Perfect. Okay, we're about to end at any minute now. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll do more of these. Take care and have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.